Hello, America, and to our friends around the world, greetings. Let's start off this with Stefan Molyneux. He was a frequent contributor on X and YouTube until the censorship police struck heavy and hard and fast. Being pro communist is just a basic sociopathy test. If someone hears over 100 million slaughtered and replies, yeah, but, boom, total sociopath. He's not lying. That is the massive disservice our education system, especially in the Western world, in particular the United States of America, has buried, is the total vile inhumanity perpetrated upon the world by socialist governments, the mass starvations. Even recently, I was researching the word kulak, referring to ancient serfs, well, maybe not ancient, but as in a few centuries back, ancient, who were granted land title and were farmers, who then, after the Russian Revolution, when the communists took over, which was essentially socialism, called them vampires and bloodsuckers and punished them for such, for producing food. And that's what you find in Mao's Great Revolution. That is what you find in every single situation in which socialism has been tried. Anyone who is an advocate, a proponent, but it hasn't been tried in, fully, ignore them. They are incapable of comprehending reality. Now let's segue to somebody who is capable of comprehending reality. Our great white neighbors to the north. As what were their names? As the Second City TV, SCTV duo brothers, if you will, Doug and Bob McKenzie would call it the Great White North. Let's segue to an individual announcing Alberta is going to make overtures to President Trump about, that offer of 51st statehood.
Alberta statehood. Well, there's a group of Albertans that are working together right now to put together a delegation to go to Washington to talk to the Trump administration about Alberta petitioning for U.S. statehood. It's quite evident that we're being governed by idiots in Ottawa who don't understand that we can't afford a trade war with our largest trading partner. And rather than simply apologizing to President Trump for not meeting our NATO commitments and not adequately securing our border, apparently the Trudeau government has decided to declare a trade war and run up trillions of dollars in costs like they did during COVID on a made-up emergency. So there's a number of us in Alberta that have had enough and want to go speak with the Trump administration about the benefits of Alberta joining the United States.
Men, take a look at this. Boys, take a look at this. Even though it's addressed ladies, in reality, this is addressed to you, us, men and boys. It's time to start thinking whether you're the guy that has post apocalyptic warlord potential. The reality is, even though USAID is being defunded and more cuts are all along the way, the leftists are going to accelerate their violence, perhaps. Downtown Portland, the Pioneer Square protest had maybe 3 dozen people, unknown at what time, if it was during the State of the Union, prior to, it was definitely before, it was daytime, but there's about 3 dozen people, maybe four max. So their numbers are dwindling, but until we know for certain that we have starved that virus out of existence, always be prepared to be the cutting edge warlord of which everyone else will be offering tribute. And here we have feminists. They have the option to continue cruising down the highway, fight for gender equality, or are they going to make that hard turn to fight for women's supremacy? Anyone who's ever done any research into the feminist ideology even just a cursory research of its original propositions from the Seneca Falls Convention, will learn very easily, very rapidly, feminism's singular goal is female supremacy, followed by male subjugation. Now, this one I haven't had a chance to check out and see if it's accurate. These could be just 3 random teenage girls posing and somebody decided to hijack it and label it. But let's say that the girls in the picture really are Angela Merkel, May from Britain, and Grybauskaite from Lithuania. This isn't too much of a stretch of an imagination. There was a picture of Kaiser Wilhelm, the Prince of Wales, and oh shoot, who was the third? The Danish prince? No, Nicholas II before the revolution. So Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany and Nicholas II before the Russians executed him, or the communists executed him, and the future king of England. There was a similar picture well over 120, 120 years ago that was taken because they were cousins. What are the odds that 3 teenage friends grow up to lead 3 countries? I would say in Europe, those odds are very high based off that little bit of history that I just provided to you, if you weren't already aware.
You don't care about this country, and that is unacceptable if you claim to be the president of the United States. So we are here. We are not going anywhere. We are going to continue to fight back, and we are going to continue to speak lies to his truth, to his stealing, and to his cheating. Thank you.
I might be off on the timestamp a little bit, but it was somewhere between the 7-minute mark even and around 7 minutes 5 seconds. She said it. The Congresswoman from California clearly said it. What was her name? Kamlager-Dove. They were going to speak lies to his truth. At least they're being honest. And here's a meme you can clip with your snip and stitch or screenshot tool. Biden administration. Don't let anyone lecture you about, oh, they're not qualified or they're not elected. Sam Brinton was a cross-dresser who had a penchant for stealing people's luggage at airports. And that's just based off of what was reported. No telling what kind of nuclear materials he stole and any other items he stole. Rachel Levine, or I believe his name was Robert Levine. I looked it up, but I don't remember off the top of my head. The bottom line is neither of those two were elected, and they're reprehensible individuals. I mean, what more can you say? And then you got the press secretary that can't tell the truth to save her life. You got the other one that likes to misdirect with, oh, let's circle back to that, and then never comes back to it. Anyway, so you got the Democrats representative from California saying that they're going to speak lies to his truth, and then you have this example to clip to put in somebody's face and say, hey, I don't care if Musk or Kennedy weren't elected. And this meme, checking in on the Dems to see if they've calmed down yet. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's supposed to be Linda Blair from the Exorcist. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. It might even just be a parody, but yeah. Their meltdowns, their walkouts, their temper tantrums, their paddles that they use to wave at slave auctions, firmly in hand at the State of the Union. The memes, they write themselves. These people are not a serious group anymore.
There is no society anymore. What there is a transnational security elite that is busy carving up the world using your tax money. To combat that elite, We must not petition. We must take it over. We must form our own networks of strength and mutual value, which can challenge those strengths and self-interested values of the warmongers in this country and in others that have formed hand in hand an alliance to take money from the United States, from every NATO country, from Australia, and launder it through Afghanistan, launder it through Iraq, launder it through Somalia, launder it through Yemen, launder it through Pakistan, and wash that money in people's blood.
The Inflation Reduction Act, which delivered historic levels of investment in clean energy. Arizona has gained over 18,000 clean energy jobs.
It's a total trash argument that this is creating all these miraculous jobs. It is not creating any net new jobs. It is creating welfare work. It is creating jobs that are uneconomic, uncompetitive. To follow Milton Friedman, why don't we just pay a bunch of people to scoop dirt with spoons out of the ground? That'll create jobs too. What we want is productive jobs. And the way we get productive jobs is we liberate the economy so that we get the most productive jobs possible. So this doesn't create any new good jobs. It's creating a bunch of welfare work, and Congress should send a signal to all the subsidy seekers that, hey, it is not safe to create fake businesses based on subsidies. We want real businesses. So if we take the subsidies away, that is a great lesson to the American economy to not be subsidy seekers and to be real value creators.